the opening statement and then take questions. Coach?
Well, thank you guys for coming out. Special day for our program. So much fun to be able to enjoy this with our fans and our families and just all of our biggest supporters. There's no feeling like seeing your name come up in the selection show. It's what you work hard for. It's what these guys lift weights, all the summer hours. That's the dream. You want to be a part of March Madness and give yourself a chance to compete for a national championship. And we've earned that right. Couldn't be prouder of our guys. A resilient bunch, a tough group, a connected group, and I know they're really excited to get out to California and play a really tough-minded Boise State team. Obviously, we're gonna have to dive into some film, but I've admired what Coach Rice has done from afar. Terrific program, really underrated conference in my opinion, and so we know we're gonna have our hands full Thursday, but that's what it is. In the NCAA tournament, everybody's really good, so we're excited to get out there and get ourselves ready and compete on Thursday.
Coach, last time 2017, 5 years ago, you've talked a lot this season about rebuilding it. What did it mean to you to see this rebuild now come to fruition and see your name called today on Sunday?
It meant a little bit extra, to me personally. I mean, no one was more disappointed, to not be able to sustain what we built in 2017 than I was. I think, you always look at yourself in the mirror and say, man, how did we not continue on this track? But it's easy, not to win. I mean, if it was so easy to win, then a lot of people would do it. I mean, there's a reason why it's only, been 2 times in whatever, close to 100 years. But for us to get there, have success, to take a step backwards and then kind of rebuild it and get back there. It's been a lot of hard work from a lot of people, a lot of belief, a lot of times where we just had to hang in there because we saw we were making progress. But, sometimes the public may not see that because of where the results were at. But these guys were growing. They were getting better. We had a bunch of guys stay the course and see this thing through, and now they're going back to the tournament, which is really exciting and obviously very special. Also too, to just stand. I mean, it was unbelievable to be able to go in 2017, but then when you stamp it and go again, it's not just some one-hit wonder or some flash in the pan. To do it again out of the Big Ten at our place, which has never happened before. To do it twice in a whatever six season span is pretty impressive in my opinion.
Chris, is there anything that you look back on from 2017 and are like, okay, this time we're gonna do it a little bit different, or will you attack it the same way?
Yeah, I thought we attacked it pretty well. Fortunately for me, even though I haven't had a lot of experience here, being at Duke for a lot of years, I've kind of been a part of a lot of NCAA tournaments and kind of how to lay out the week, how to set up your practices, when to travel, kind of when to get out there, and we'll be in communication with our staff as soon as I get done here and kind of figure out all those things and how we get ourselves ready to compete on Thursday. But we'll have a good plan. We'll have a good plan in place. Our guys are relatively, knock on wood, we're healthy, we're rested. Maybe that was when we had a really hard-fought loss Friday night, but sometimes maybe the blessing in disguise is you get home and you get recharged and regrouped, and they had a day off yesterday. We had a workout today before the selection show, so the spirits are good. I thought we had the way we approached it last time, I thought we did a good job. We had a good prep, played well against Vandy. I thought we competed hard in the second game against Gonzaga. So, our guys will be ready to go. It's going to be tough. I mean, Boise State's a really good team, but, I feel confident we'll have a plan in place to get ourselves ready to play at a high level on Thursday.
Coach, Boise State's a really good defensive team, top 15 in Ken Palm in defensive efficiency. How much does playing against a lot of really quality defensive teams in the Big Ten kind of prepare you for that?
Yeah, hopefully our experience. I mean, I don't know how it fully shook out, but I saw a lot of Big Ten teams popping up, as we were watching the show. So, if you look at that, we played Pittsburgh, who ended up making it. We played Auburn, who ended up making it. So, I'd venture to say we played at least 15 games against NCAA tournament quality opponents. And really, you look at this last, 8-game stretch, 10-game stretch. We played Illinois, we played Iowa, we played Purdue, played Indiana, played Penn State twice, played at Maryland. So we've been playing quote unquote NCAA games now for about 3-4 weeks in a row. This will be much of the same. Again, I haven't completely dove into them. We'll do that as soon as we get going. But, as a basketball lifer and a junkie, I've known Coach Rice. He's comes from a Gonzaga background. He's done a great job out there at Boise. I know they have a terrific team, and I always feel their conference is very underrated. A lot of good teams in that conference. So it's going to be a tough matchup, and I'm excited to kind of dive into film tonight and get a better feel for who they are and, present a plan to our guys tomorrow and have a few days to get ready.
Coach, you guys played in Salt Lake City last time out. It was another trip out west for you guys. What was the fan support like when you went out west last time, and how do you think it's going to be this time?
Well, I'm always a pretty emotional guy, as you guys know, but when I walked out on the floor to coach that Vanderbilt game in Salt Lake City, it really brought tears to my eyes when I walked out there and I saw that place, pretty much all purple. And there were a lot of great programs out there at that venue. I remember Arizona was out there. I remember Gonzaga was out there. St. Mary's was out there. And we had the most people by far. And it was all the way out on the West Coast, all the way in Salt Lake. And it shows the kind of the reach of what the Northwestern Wildcat family can be. I'm hoping that we see that again. We're going to need it. It matters. It means a lot to us. And hopefully when we take the floor on Thursday, we see a lot of purple once again.
Coach, you had some players from the 2017 team. What did it mean to have them speak to you and then also to your players?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, every time I see those guys, there's a bond that we have that'll never, be broken. I mean, anytime you're a part of something that's the first, you can never take that away. I mean, how many times do any of us say, you can do something for the first time ever? And that's what that group did against a lot of odds, against a lot of naysayers. And, those guys will always hold a really special, place in my heart. So to see Gavin, to see Tino, to see Tap, obviously B-Max with me every day, just a special, special group. And hopefully the rest of those guys are proud, because they set the tone, they set the standard for what it takes to play at that level. As a Northwestern team, and this team has, I think, represented our program really well this year in their footsteps.
You talked a little bit after the Penn State game about the uphill battle that it is, making this a basketball program or a basketball school. Mm-hmm. What does, the second appearance in the tournament do for that? And overall, what do you think it's going to take to really solidify this as a basketball program?
Yeah, continued hard work. I've always said, it's really special when you can build something from the ground level up, because it means a lot when you kind of build it up from scratch. But sustaining is every bit as hard, and I don't think people give the programs enough credit that have been able to sustain the way they have. I mean, Michigan State, I'm sure they were, I think 25 years in a row they're in the tournament. Numbers like that are staggering. I was a part of a program like that. And what I probably took for granted, kind of what that was like, until coming to a place like this, and you kind of see, man, it really is hard not only to get there, but to keep it there. So, we're gonna be guns a-blazing for this week and attack that. But whenever our run ends, we're gonna roll up our sleeves and work even harder. And I've talked in depth about, some of the things maybe being a young coach that I didn't do a very good job of the last time. And hopefully we can lean on our experiences. I think we're better positioned. Remember we went through a huge facilities project right after that season. We didn't play any home games. We were still kind of getting our house in order with that. And so, I think we're in a better position to sustain, but it's going to be really hard. Our league keeps getting better year in and year out. And, I know we're going to keep working super hard to keep this at this level and not take another step back like we had to before.
Coach, going back to last offseason, Dr. Bragg gave the public statement that he had a conversation with you and tasked you with making the changes throughout the offseason, and now you're seeing that success. But, how did that impact you during the time, or, seeing that success? Did that add fuel to the fire to just even get, or just how does that feel now?
Yeah, a lot has been made, about what that statement was. I never viewed it the way a lot of the public viewed it. I know the way, maybe it was written and the way it was said, made it seem like some back against the wall, make or break. My conversations with Derek have always been great. I think it was more so, man, okay, we believe you're the guy. What do we need to do to get it right? And what do we need to do? We need to look at everything. What does our roster look like? What does our staff look like? And, I've never been one to think like I have all the answers. I'm always open for growth. And, I always think as a coach, you have to strive to be better yourself. So, you take feedback from people you respect. You look at it in a lens of being very critical. Okay, where are we and what do we need to do? And really that's what I did. And, we changed the staff up a little bit, in terms of roles and in terms of, obviously we brought in Chris, did a great job for us. We moved Bryant to the floor as another younger guy with Taylor as a young former player who could really, get at. I put Coach James in a role to where really he could really help me even more, and not have to focus as much on the guys, but really help me with X's and O's and game plans and things like that. What he does at an unbelievably high level. So I thought we made some great adjustments there. And then, it was the guys, it was the buy-in of the players. But, I never viewed that as, a pressure or make or break. I've always said, like, just do your best and live with the results, but while you're doing your best, be open to listen and learn and get better and grow. I mean, I don't think any of us were happy about, especially last year, because I thought we had enough talent. The couple years prior to that, I thought we were still in rebuild mode. Last year, we felt we had enough and we didn't get it done. So it was like, okay, how do we get it done? And I thought we made a lot of proper changes. The players really bought in and the results followed, which was awesome to see.
You've talked a lot these past couple weeks about staying even-keeled, you and Boo and Chase, and being in the unique position of kind of knowing this day would come for like a month now.
Yeah.
How have you managed to kind of keep that attitude, and how do you think you're going to keep that going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing it did is when you're playing down the stretch and you're thinking about that tournament, it can put a lot of added pressure on you. And I think, going through that 5-game stretch, we kind of stamped it. When we won those 5 games, had that 3-game stretch where we beat Purdue, Indiana, Iowa, I think we knew kind of after beating Iowa, like, okay, we're good, and we also knew we had a lot of tough games down the stretch. The 3 on the road, 3 of our last 4 on the road, obviously played Penn State twice, who's as hot, got themselves to the finals. So we had a really difficult slate these last 5 games. I thought we continued to learn about ourselves, but, the thing we tried to do was to stay loose. Let's stay loose. Because anytime you start playing tight or you start playing like you're trying to protect something or, the weight of the world is on your shoulders, we're not going to be successful like that. So I want our guys to stay loose. I want them to stay hungry. I will tell them, though, there's a lot of teams like the end game is just getting announced today, and a lot of people get satisfied with that. And it shows with how they play in the tournament. And, what type of team do we want to be? Do we want to be happy that we made it and we got in the field, or do we want to be hungry to try to win? And I think the teams that are successful in this tournament are the ones that go in with the mindset of, yeah, it's great to be here, but now let's win. And I'm confident our guys will be that, but that'll be the message the next couple days.
Yeah, how do you go about sort of keeping them loose as you go into the NCAA tournament, knowing most never played in it before and still not want to just be happy to be there?
Yeah, I mean, I again, kind of the message of, hey, we're here now. So, do you want to just show up and get your ribbon and go home, or do you want to try to do something? And, I'm confident in our leadership of our guys. I mean, we've been a group that's always been super resilient, super ready to play. It's a competitive group. We're a connected group. They want to win. We have older guys that have worked really hard to get here. So I know that they're going to really lock in these next couple days and prepare and try to be the best we can for the game against Boise.
Coach, now hang out on the road, California, making the tournament. When you got here, you start to have the conversations about building the new Welsh Ryan Arena. Now as the season wrapped and as you guys hit the road, is this kind of what you imagine with this kind of atmosphere, decked out in purple all the time?
Absolutely, man. I mean, again, I draw upon my own experiences. I thought it could have a Cameron-esque feel to it. Just that was very intentional when we built this new arena. We actually took some seats away. We went from almost 8,000 to 7,000. We wanted an intimate setting. We wanted the students to be right on top of the court, knowing that, if we could do our part and put a good product out there and everyone showed up, that this could be a really difficult place to play. And to see, the last, 6 conference games, the way our place was, I mean, it became one of the tougher venues in the conference. I mean, other coaches even said that to me. I'm like, man, it never was that hard to come in here and play. But now with your students showing up, with your fan base there, like this is becoming a tough place to win. And I hope we can keep that going. You know, I mean, it was disappointing because we gained a lot of momentum last time and then we had to blow up our arena. So we ended up playing the next year out at All-State, which made it very hard for students to go. It was tough. You know, now that we've built some momentum from this year, and I think students have had fun coming to the games, they understand, man, it's fun to get out of the dorm, out of the library for a couple hours and go watch the team and cheer them on and have a little fun. You know, I think we have a niche that we can create something special and do it our way and make this a really cool basketball atmosphere. And I think we showed it this last month of the season.
Any more questions for Coach? All right, that'll wrap us up.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you being here.
See ya. We'll have 2 players for about 10 minutes coming in.
I don't think he has. Those students right now.
That's
they
what I'm
could lose
saying.
Thursday. We're done.
Well, I mean, the good thing is it's like the dorms are closed here, so no matter what, I can stay here,
Yeah, but,
which is good. And the
but like
meals.
my point is, if they lose, we're down to 32.
Well, I think we're staying for the weekend.
No, but I'm saying, do you want to stay in Chicago for a week when you're 32?
I might have to because I have like just flights. And stuff.
I don't know. I'm just like,
Yeah, I really don't know. I was thinking like my friend from U Chicago was in like. I was thinking like he'd stay here because their break is like a week earlier. So yeah, I got to just talk to my parents. I kind of told them this whole time because literally since January, they're like, oh, when's the fun? Like, yeah, I'm not gonna know till.
Yeah.
And I definitely will not fly direct from Sacramento to New York. There's no way. Just find somebody in LA and just stay in LA or something.
it's the other side of the state.
Yeah, I know it's the other side. And just like use the spring break, just go across the Pacific.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, it also like added to budget money, which I just haven't done because I didn't need to go to Sacramento.
Yeah, I did not have
I really
Sacramento.
thought it would be. I thought it'd be Columbus. Hey, it's better than Salt Lake City. I cannot imagine.
Salt Lake
like,
City would be fun, actually.
It's freaking beautiful.
Could have gone skiing.
In March.
Yeah, there's snow. There's snow year round. If you go
I will be going home.
Yeah, no, it's
So frustrating. I really want to go there. It's amazing.
yeah, or like
first 4 hours.
What?
Really?
wow.
That power, just that you
The
can see.
name brand. What was was Rutgers the first 4 hours?
Everybody, we're joined by Boo Buie and Chase Audige. Open it up right to questions. Over to the left.
The story of you all staying with Northwestern is well known at this point, but this moment right now, does it feel like a full circle moment to, make it back to the tournament with this team, with the squad that stayed together?
Yeah, I think so. Seeing our name actually called, I felt like that was a bit of a different feeling. Because kind of throughout the season, especially towards the end, we knew we were a tournament team. We kind of just playing for seeding, and it didn't really feel like, oh, we made the tournament. But today, seeing that, seeing our name called on the screen, and just everyone being here and supporting us, and just supporting us throughout the whole year, it's been amazing. So yeah, it's all coming full circle.
Just a quick follow-up. When you were a tournament team, was it a feeling of like it's not real until you actually hear your name called, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, like, it didn't feel like we weren't as a tournament team as far as, the way we play, but just simply like, oh, like we're making history. Like, it didn't feel like that in the moment. After certain games it did, but just seeing it actually up there in the bracket, is like the moment we've been waiting for.
To the left.
Yeah, for Chase too. Why was that moment so exciting for you guys when you see your name comes? Because as we're talking about, obviously we're pretty confident you guys were in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a story everybody kind of knows, from where we came from and just us being here right now. But, I mean, honestly, like, it's super exciting, and today's such a great day, and we had a really hard workout, honestly, before we came out there and did the show. But, we're still hungry. Like, we're not going to be one of these teams, we just discussed it, that's just happy to be there, happy to get our name called. Like, we're trying to go out there and make some noise and make some stuff shake. So, it's a definitely exciting moment, but it's even more exciting that we have more basketball to be played. Years past, we would have been going home after the Big Ten tournament, like, looking forward to next year. People already planning spring break trips. Now it's, time to really do what we all came here to do. A lot of kids dream about, what just happened today, and to play in these type of games and to be able to do that, it's a blessing, but we're not going to take it for granted.
What made the practice so hard?
We was running, we was shooting, we was doing a lot of different stuff.
Big cardio.
Yeah, big cardio day. They wanted to humble us a little bit, I guess, but it was needed.
Back right.
How quickly did you look at your phones and find out about Boise State?
You want to say that?
I found out. I actually didn't look at my phone. Someone said that we were playing Boise State, and I was kind of just focused on that. The fact that our name was called, and that's kind of all I was focused on in the moment.
Right to the left.
Coach talked a lot about solidifying this program, this school as being a basketball school, not just, a football school, and you guys are helping contribute to that. What are your thoughts on what it's going to take to solidify Northwestern as, a school that's known for its basketball program?
I think it's just, continue to do what we're doing. I think it's not just us. I think even next year and the teams after that, they got to continue on with this tradition, and Coach just talked about, like, after 2017, when they made it, the idea was it's going to happen again and again. But it's really, really hard to win the Big Ten. It's really, really hard to be, good every single year, especially at a place like Northwestern with, all the things people talk about. But I think it's just on everybody, collectively coming every year after this year to continue the tradition we got going on and just to play tough, play hard, and just to, make the culture of Northwestern basketball be known.
Boo, you had a pretty animated reaction when Northwestern's name wasn't called for Des Moines. Was that like something specific to the region, or is that something else?
It's just kind of close. So, I just felt like it would be better if we went somewhere not as close. So, that's all.
The front.
For both you guys, being in the Big Ten, facing multiple tournament teams throughout the entire season, how do you think that's prepared you now to actually get into the tournament and face the best 64 teams left in the country?
I think it's prepared us a lot, even just seeing the 7-10 games. Like, we could have played Penn State again if we were in a different region. So it's like we played so many great teams and teams that had their names called today, and I think all that experience and just the confidence we build in ourselves and just our system and everything is just what's going to help us, go out on Thursday and do what we got to do.
Just as a follow-up to that, with the way the game against Penn State went on Friday and all that, how do you guys reset now to look ahead and now get ready, put all the Big Ten, everything behind you, now get ready to play Boise State on Thursday night?
I mean, I think we have no other choice. I think, obviously Penn State game didn't go the way we wanted to, but we got to move on from it. We got to learn from it and just put everything we got into Boise State.
And as team leaders, guys, how are you going to help keep your team loose but also focused going into the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, we've had it's kind of like going back to the question about how do you keep this tradition going. You just got to follow the tradition and stick to your standards. The same thing that we've been doing all year, wins and losses. For the most part, we came out with the better outcome, and so you don't change up your formula, you don't change up habits, you do the same exact thing, and you just change what needs to be changed, and everything else, you keep it the same. So, we're not gonna put extra pressure on ourselves or anything like that. And as Chase said, we're not just happy to be here. So. And that's kind of the mindset we approached the Big Ten Conference play with, and so that's what we're just going to approach this tournament with.
Lawrence.
You both envisioned this moment throughout your whole college careers, but what was it like to actually be in the moment and have, you all staying called?
It's amazing. And, I think, honestly, for me personally, it hit me more hearing the people who've, graduated here, like Billy McKinney talking to us and just hearing how, like, this moment has meant so much to him. He's not even playing, and just how we're going to look back on this one day and just have emotions that, we can't even describe. But, I mean, right now, I feel like, again, like, we're happy, but we're focused. Like, the job's still not finished, and I feel like if we were to just be a giddy, happy team, we'd be doing, everybody who's supporting us and ourselves a disservice. So it's a great feeling. It's a blessing, but, we still got to go out there and win.
To the front.
We talk a lot about, just you guys surprising everybody. How have you guys surprised yourselves these last few months?
I don't think we surprised ourselves, to be honest.
Like, learn anything about yourself. Not in the way like your success, just like, learn anything about yourselves?
No, I got this one. Everybody doubted us before, so it may seem like a surprise to the world, but before this event today, Coach talked about how we gathered as a group in the summer, and we just basically told ourselves and told each other amongst that group, like, this is the group, we have everything we need here, and we believe in each other, and so coming into the season, we had the utmost confidence and, you know, really nothing to prove to anyone except to ourselves. And that's the approach we took all year. And so we didn't surprise ourselves with really anything, in my opinion. And everything that we've done this year, you know, has been well-earned and work behind it. There's a lot of work that went into it, and nothing was a surprise in our eyes.
Boo, coaches kind of talked about finding you on a whim on a recruiting trip back in like 2017 or something, but can you just walk me through that journey from like those first conversations and about the vision coming here to now obviously making the tournament as both one of the team's captains and its point guard?
Yeah, so I was a super under-recruited player, and I was playing in like the last week of my AAU career, and he was out in California. That's where my tournament was, and I was playing really well at the time. And they actually had came to see another kid, and it was a kid I was playing against, and you know, I ended up outplaying him that game, and then that's when coach started to reach out, and he started to recruit me, and that was really like my only recruitment at the time. And so then later that summer, I came on a visit. He eventually offered me a scholarship, and I came on a visit, and once I got here and I seen his vision and heard the story, I just wanted to be a part of the rebuild. And, you know, so that was something like coming into Northwestern, you know, like when I signed, I gave my word that I was going to be a part of something special. And so it's just, I'm just blessed to be a part of it.
Back right.
What has it been like with Chris this year? The momentum you guys have had, the way he's brought you to where you are right now?
It's been great. I think Coach Collins has really believed in us as a team, and just I think this year we all kind of, he says all the time, just throw ourselves into the fight. Like they coached us, they still do coach us super duper hard. Like they're on our case all the time, you know what I mean? But we accept that, and we allow them to coach us. You know, nobody's catching attitude or anything like that. And, you know, we're giving our all as players. Like even away from practice, we got guys coming to gym all the time to get better and work on their individual skills. And I think just everybody being so dedicated to winning and just, you know, not even proving other people wrong, just doing the right thing and playing the game of basketball the right way. I think that's just been special. And Coach Collins has done a great job leading us and just allowing us to be us. You know, obviously there's a lot of things we can get better at. You know, you could point fingers or whatever it may be, but we've worked so hard, and we just allowed each other to be who they are. And I think it's just been an amazing year, and just feeling.
To the front.
And looking at your guys' region, I don't know if you've had a chance to do it yet, but there are some, I guess, blue bloods in Kansas, Gonzaga, UCLA. How do you guys feel about matching up with that, and do you feel like it brings the best out of you to go up against programs like that?
I mean, we already beat one of the 1 seeds in the tournament, so I feel like no matter what, we feel like we compete with anybody in our bracket or in the country.
All right, last question in the front.
Boo, for you, your brother brought Penn State back to the tournament after 10 years in the early 2010s. What does it mean for you now for him to be here with you, and you guys get to make this journey together to bring Northwestern back after 5 years, the second time ever?
Yeah, I mean, it's special, but, you know, this isn't really about us. You know, this is everyone. You know, everybody bought in, and, you know, Taylor has been a great addition to our program as far as, you know, just player development and just building a relationship with guys and just having another voice and even just being on the scout team and just helping us that way. But, you know, this year has really just been a everyone being bought in and a collective effort. So I couldn't have did it without them, and, you know, they couldn't have did it without me. And so that's how we approached it, and so that's why it's so special.
All right, that'll wrap us up. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Everyone else.